A black shopper in a North Texas department store had to confront a store employee after the worker called him and his 10-year-old son a effing ninja. In a video that will be posted in the description where you can watch it and be a judge for yourself, my point with it is I want to know, how would you react whether you were a black person or even if you was a white person and the shoe was on the other foot and the black person was the employee and called you effing backer? How would you react? In my opinion, the brother did handle the situation real calm, and as a man, he did his due diligence not to get himself in any kind of confrontation or to get himself in some SH he couldn't get out of. I will definitely say that. But everybody handles situations different. So how he handled it might not be the same way that I would handle it. The black man goes by the name of Muhammad Karim. And he says he asked the worker, who he refers to as Homer, for directions to a dressing room. Upon returning to his son, he saw the child was crying. A tear came out of my baby's eye, and he said, "Dad, you didn't hear what that man just called me?" In the video, the father can be heard asking the worker, I asked the question, what could he have done? What could the 10-year-old do to Homer to deserve to be called a effing ninja? And he went on to say, it's unacceptable. You shouldn't do that. You don't know the impact of what you've done to my son, but maybe you were unaware. He continued, you shouldn't be speaking that way, period. If you know that, why do you do that, man? The employee said the outbursts were due to the pain in his leg. And the father replied, you hurt your leg, so you said effing ninja? The father admitted to CBS News that the Prophet Muhammad says, don't be angry, don't be angry, don't be angry. So, on that alone, we know that he was a religious person that practices the Muslim religion. He then paused for a chuckle. He says, I'll be honest with you, I was angry. He resumed the rest of the conversation and said, you don't go from hitting your foot to you effing ninja. Life doesn't work that way. This is repetitive behavior. The Dillard's worker then answered that he's worked at the store for over 20 years. So for over 20 years, we definitely know that you've been in contact with black people because you've been working there 20 years. So what happened to make him call this 10-year-old child a effing ninja? And also the father revealed, he said that his child is still traumatized by their interaction. And he said, I can't allow my emotions to overshadow them in this particular time. And he said of his children, so I'm doing the best that I can to protect them. And even in the video, he did G-check Homer, the store employee, and he did give him some advice that if this was one of these young people, the outcome could be different. He did give him one of my slogans, which is definitely, you don't know what a person could be going through at the time, which, like he said, I just lost my mother, my mother-in-law, and my sister all last year. So he was already at a breaking point. But thanks to the Most High, he didn't break, because he could have had himself in a situation, and he does have a 10-year-old child. But to be honest, and that's my question to you listeners, what would you have done if someone called your 10-year-old child a effing ninja, and then his reason was because his leg was hurting? I know most of y'all gonna say I would have jumped over that counter, snatched him, and did whatever. But my thing is, I want to know, is holding your composure better as a black person, or getting your frustration off and getting down where the sound is made at? Because, we go through this a lot in this country, and you have to ask yourself, when are you fed up with it? And what will you do when you get to that breaking point? That's the thing. And that's the dangerous part that I believe people don't understand. Like the people that are being harsh toward black people and mistreating black people and thinking they can get away with saying anything they want to say out their mouth. They don't know that you can get a foot or a fist in your mouth. And I don't think they realize it, that we have a lot of built up aggression with the mistreatment that we have to deal with on a daily basis. And when you're dealing with it on a daily basis like that, you might just become the person that I take my frustration out on, because you were the last one to say the last dumb shit to me. And that's facts. But that's what I want to know. What would you have done if you were a black person and a store employee that was a white person called your 10-year-old son a effing ninja, and he was crying when you walked up and telling you, hey, Dad, or hey, Mom, he just called me a effing ninja? Would you get down with a sound at? Or would you have the composure that this brother had? And with that, I'm going to say this is the news in you. North, east, west, south. Unite from every alley in Cali, intersection and back street. Subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up on your way